Welcome to Pashua's Moment with Pastor Charles Kiyaga.
Yes, praise the Lord, brethren. We are back again on our program, the Pashua's Moment, and as always, I'm your servant, Pastor Charles. I'm seated here in one of the prayer jungles, a place where you can come in the cool of the day and lie down here and be quiet. In the stillness of nature, and all you will hear the quietness of the day with all nature around you, and be able to meditate, think about God and talk to God, and then God will whisper a word that will change your life. A word from God will completely fire up your life, and you need to hear a word from God. This place is open 24/7, every day of the week, 24/7. You can come here anytime. There are people waiting for you. We have all facilities here. We have accommodation, sanitary facilities, we have power, water, and everything. So you don't need to worry. Just come. And we make it as affordable as possible. It's almost for a penny. It's almost for nothing. Because for you to spend a day and night here is just 2,000 shillings, which is barely something like 50 cents, not even a dollar. It is something around 50 cents. Okay, so that is a very affordable. And if you want a self-contained room, it's about $3. Very affordable. So you can't say you cannot afford to come here. So I want to remind you, from the 28th to the 30th of December, we are going to be camped here for 3 days of prayer and fasting. And I encourage you to be part of that. Come and let us cry to God that He will take off all the weights and He will dress us up ready to conquer 2026. We want to be prepared ahead of time with what it takes for us to win, and see this year as a year that will redeem the many years we could have lost. We are back in our study here in Genesis chapter 22. We go to verses 6. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and he laid it on Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and the two of them went together. What an obedience. He got the firewood and he put it on the head of Isaac, but he had not told him anything. He picked the fire and picked the sword, and they began to walk, going to a place of surrender to God, a place of taking God who He is, a place of obedience. And they continued to walk. He had not told Isaac anything. Then Isaac asked him a very painful question. But Isaac spoke to Abraham his father, and he said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." Then he said, "Look, the fire and the wood. But where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" That was not an easy question. If Abraham did not believe God and take God for who He is, maybe that would be a moment of lamentation for Abraham. But Abraham kept everything tight on his heart. He had not told his wife, he had not told his son, but he was obeying God. And now the son poses a question, and he says, "I'm seeing the wood, I'm seeing the sword, I'm seeing the fire. But where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" That was a painful question. If I was Abraham, maybe that was the time I would begin to cry and say, "I don't know my son, but this God is very difficult. This God is doing something I don't even understand." But Abraham, you know what Abraham answered? Abraham said, and Abraham said, "My son, God will provide for Himself the lamb for the burnt offerings." So the two of them went together. God will provide for Himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So Abraham knew God had already provided. This lamb that God had asked, the son that God had asked for an offering, God had given to him already. So in other words, God had already provided the offering for himself. There is nothing God asks of us which he has not provided. Many of us are struggling. I might be talking to somebody, but you are struggling with obedience to what God has asked you. But that very thing God is asking of you, he has already provided. Because you did not have it in the first place. You were born with nothing, and empty you will go. You will go with nothing. Whatever you have in this life has been provided by him. So Abraham was saying God will provide. But in his heart he already knew God has already provided. Meaning the offering Abraham was going to make had already been given by God. So Abraham was willing to obey because he was assured that this sacrifice, even if God had not given me this son, I would not strangle him. I would not fight God. I would remain fatherless. If he has chosen that the son he has given me, I should give him back to him as an offering, who am I to say no? So he says God will provide. In other words, God has already provided. I want to tell you, somebody who is struggling, whatever God is asking you, he has already provided. Because he gave it to you. We came with nothing. Whatever we have in life, God has provided. He has already provided. Don't you say God is robbing me. God is taking away my joy. God is taking away the only thing I have. Everything you have has been given by him. And your most precious thing, which is life, has been granted to you by him. So when God asks us something, unless we do not believe that God is God, that if God is God, it will be self-defeating for us to deny him anything. Because even if he just chose to take it without asking you, you will not go to fight him. So Abraham said God will provide. I want to tell you, God has already provided. Whatever he's asking of you, he has already provided. Can we be willing and ready to say, Lord, have your way? If he asks you to come and wait on him in the 3 days of prayer and fasting, don't you say God is robbing you of peace? God has already provided. Let us be willing.